Hi everyone, I'm Paula Moore, the Posture Doctor, today talking about habits you want to change. Now you may be wondering why I'm talking about habits, and that's a very good question, because good posture is a habit. But first I want to credit Charles Duhigg and his book, The Power of Habit, for this podcast. This podcast is the 5-minute version of his book, but do buy his book because it is full of brilliance that you can use to change bad habits and create new habits that work in your life. So Charles tells us habits can be changed if we understand how they work. He explains that at one time, probably way back, we made a choice the first time we did a certain behavior, but that over time, that behavior became wired into our brains neurologically, so strongly that it became automatic, a habit. As a great example, have you ever sent a text message meant for one person to the wrong person? It's simply because you are conditioned to send text to that one person. In other words, it's a habit. In The Power of Habit, you learn that habits form part of a loop made up of a cue, time of day, a certain location, a person you're with, an event or an emotion, followed by a routine, the habit itself, like eating a chocolate bar, brushing your teeth, checking email, which shoe you put on first, exercise, brushing your hair, or driving to work. And the final part of the loop, the reward, having a Kit Kat break, tingly breath from brushing your teeth, satisfaction from emails being answered, feeling energized after exercise, etc. So the loop is cue, routine, reward. Rewards can be physical sensations or emotional feelings. So that cigarette reward may be the nicotine or the sense of calm that you get. Charles Duhigg tells us that by learning to observe the cues and rewards, we can begin to change the routines. So one habit that I've been thinking of changing is my sugar craving habit. So let's break it down. I've been observing the loop, the cue, routine, reward, because this is what Charles says is the first step in habit changing. So yesterday I got the cue twice. Once around 4:30 when I was feeling a bit stressed and had just finished a computer task. And the second time I got the cue was about 7 p.m., just before I'd had dinner following a swim in the sea, and I was feeling happy and relaxed. Remember to look at the location, who you were with, the emotion you're feeling, the event, and the time for your cues. I think the likely cue for me is time of day and finishing a work task. But I did mention creating the habit of good posture, right? So I'm getting to that shortly, but just quickly, Charles tells us that to change a habit, you must keep the old cue and rewards and insert a new routine. So if my cue for cake turns out to be time of day and the reward is relaxation, all I need to do is start playing with different routines and see which provide the relaxation I desire. As an example, I could try listening to music for 10 minutes, or meditating, or taking a quick walk, or even trying a healthier food option. As I said, it's early days. So you now have an idea of how to change a habit you don't want, but what about the habits you do want? What if that habit is good posture? And I do maintain that good posture for most people is a habit. So let's go back to Charles's loop. You'll need a cue, a routine, and a reward. So this is how I created my good posture habit. My cue is waking up, because for me, if I left it until the end of the day, I know I'd be way too tired and I'd talk myself out of exercise. My routine, which I've been developing over the last decade, and which you can now join me doing, is posture size. So that's my routine. Every morning before I dress or shower, I do my posture size. So what's the reward? So many rewards. I look in the mirror and I like what I see. It wasn't always that way. My body feels supple. I get very stiff if I don't posture size every day. And it makes me feel really happy and healthy because I know I'm being proactive about my health and not waiting for a problem. So there you have it. Want the habit of good posture? Then choose an easy cue. When you wake, your 11 a.m. work break, the drive home from work. Choose a routine. That's posture size for me. And then reap the reward. Weight loss, more confidence, looking and feeling younger, less fatigue, compliments from others? I'll leave you with this quote from Charles Duhigg from his excellent book, The Power of Habit. Sometimes change takes a long time. Sometimes it requires repeated experiments and failures. But once you understand how a habit operates, once you diagnose the cue, the routine, and the reward, you gain power over it. Lovely.